Welcome to another episode of Lunch with the Shark. Join us as we dive deep into discussions about business, accounting, and finance to help you build a business that thrives. Now sit back and have a bite with your host, the Shark CFO, Vidal Espinosa.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to a new edition of Lunch with the Shark. I am your host, Vidal, the Shark CFO Espinosa, and it's really nice to be with you on this afternoon. On this Thursday afternoon, I can't believe it's not butter. I can't believe it's not. It's already Thursday, and middle of the month. How things going? Has the things that we've been talking about for the last week have been resonating with you on your entrepreneurship? On how are we doing in our business? Like, are we implementing, or are we thinking about implementing or developing and creating procedures, systems, anything like that? Like, how can am I too big? Am I too small? Should I be big? Should I be small? Should I move forward? What should I do? Should I restructure? So what should I do in my business? The more you know your business, the better you are able to solve possible problems and find solutions to those problems. It's the best way to not to avoid, because there's always going to be issues. There's always going to be problems. There's always going to be something there. Nothing that is worthwhile. It's easy. So that's what we need to realize. If business was just a straight line, then what happens when a human body is just like a flat line? You're dead, right? So if the business itself was just a line, there's nothing there. There's businesses are up and down, up and down. It's very interesting how business works. And if you're going into business and expect a flat line, then that's just continue working. Just continue with an employment, and not even an employment is going to be flatlined. So today we're gonna talk about advantages and disadvantages of creating a joint venture, a partnership, alliances. Like, how alliances or joint ventures are going to help you in your business, or how they can affect you in your business if you create them. Some people have the mentality that your competitors are your enemies, or whomever is in your field, it's against you, or whomever it's your colleague. They're always there just to figure out what the hell you're doing so they can copy you, and that's not right. That's not true. So that's that, right? So let me start. But as part of your growth plan, you should consider doing some strategic partnerships, also known as joint ventures. You need to think about the following questions to figure out who would be a good to do a joint venture with. Will they actually help you grow your business? Are their customers aligned with your ideal customers? What would the return on investment for your time or payment? The first question is, will they actually help your business grow? If somebody is proposing you to join forces or create an alliance, create a joint venture, is this a win-win situation? Is your business going to grow? Are you going to grow? Are they aligned with your focus? Are they aligned with the mission and vision of your company? With your mission, with your vision? Are also their customers aligned with your ideal customers? And Will there be any return on the investment of your time and resources? Obviously, when somebody proposes you a joint venture or an alliance or a partnership, there's projections, there's plans, there's a whole set of things that go around it, so you can analyze it. There's a lot of more questions you should think about, but those are the most important. Those three questions, those are the ones that you should really consider prior to even venturing into going more into depth as to whether or not join in that venture. Okay? Being in a joint venture can be very profitable for you, but there are some pros and cons to make sure you understand the complexities of doing a joint venture. So let's dive into the pros. Okay? There's a lot of pros, there's a lot of cons, but let's dive into the pros first. Pros. 1, you will build relationships and networks. Even though your partnership is only for a specific goal, this move will enable you to create long-lasting business relationships. You are going to be presented, or you are going to present the other company, the other individuals, as partners, as business partners, as a new company. So your network is going to grow. Your connections are going to grow exponentially based on the connections that the other party has, and then they're going to go exponentially as the connections that you have. You can actually have your clients be their clients and their clients be your clients, or merge, which is totally different, and create new set of clients. Okay, so it's really, really, really good also to increase your network, because it's also very important to increase your net worth, which is different. But your network will bring you referrals, will bring you possible deals, will bring you possible businesses in the future, good friends, and things like that. So that's a good pro. Number 2, you get to save money by sharing advertising and marketing costs. And that works for a lot of other type of costs. Starting a joint venture is a great way to save money and or split cost. Let me give you an example here. Let's say that you are a contractor and a real estate agent want to join, create a joint venture. So real estate agents are always promoting and advertising themselves so they can get listings or sell the houses that they have currently listing. So what they're going to do is merge, joint venture with a contractor and say, hey, homeowner, if you want to sell your house, but it's not nice, let me get you in touch with this individual, which is the contractor, so we can fix it up and sell it, right? So there's a win-win for both of you. Whomever wants to sell the house needs to fix it up a little bit, and whomever needs to fix it up, vice versa, right? So there's a win-win situation. There's a win-win joint venture, and it will save both of you guys, the real estate agent and the construction company, in advertising costs, because they'll be probably using one email, one flyer, one door hanger, one whatever. So there's a split. There's right. So there's cost savings. Now you need to be aligned, though. You need to be aligned, because I don't think a plastic surgeon is going to team up or create a joint venture with a, I don't know, with a, let's see, with a restaurant. So that's a reason, right? Another one is both parties share the risk and costs. In case a joint group project fails, you are not alone when bearing the cost of its failure, because you two had volunteered to share the expenses. You both will also support the losses. So if nobody calls the contractor, most likely nobody's going to call the real estate agent. So that's why you're sharing in the risks and in the costs. Also, if the construction is not done at par, then maybe the property will not sell. If the construction is not done properly, the property will not sell. There's a lot of things, and I'm giving you the example when it comes to the real estate and contractor. Risks and costs maybe for a restaurant industry and a wedding planner, right? Obviously, wedding planners are not chefs or restaurateurs, so they team up, they create a joint venture with a wedding planner. There's a lot of risk, and they can solve and mitigate costs. So there's a lot of good joint ventures that you can actually look into creating for your company, and this is an immediate way to expand, first of all, without adding additional cost to your operation. Okay, here's a bonus, and probably the most important. You will have your brand exposed to a whole new client base that you may have not thought about. Your changes or success will become higher as you are already writing with a renowned brand. As a result of this, your credibility will also vastly improve. So let's say that when you create the joint venture, you team up or you create the alliance with a very well-renowned wedding planner in your area. And I'm talking about a restaurateur, right? A restaurant that is just starting or a chef that is just starting. So what you do, you immediately add the credibility from that wedding planner to your brand, and vice versa, right? If you are a 1, 2, 3-star Michelin chef or restaurant and they want to team up with you, obviously you're going to be more inclined to say, let me think about it. Maybe no, maybe yes, you see, because ultimately, whomever you associate with, whomever you alliance, whomever you create that joint venture with, everything that it has from them is going to come to you. Their past, their present, their good things and their bad things are coming included, okay? But that immediately creates positive impact and visibility, okay? So cons, what could go wrong or what's wrong? A shit of things can go wrong, obviously. Nothing is for sure, and nothing is guaranteed. But the cons are limited outside opportunities. It is very common for joint venture contracts to restrict outside activities of participant companies while working on a venture project. You need to make sure you understand what you're getting into if you don't want to negatively impact your entire business. This is something very important that you need to consider if you're creating a joint venture. Some joint ventures, and if not most joint ventures, will have a clause or in the agreement, exclusivity agreement. Okay, so that's the problem. That if, let's say that you're a restaurateur and you want to team up with a wedding planner, maybe the wedding planner is going to say, hey, you know what? I want exclusivity. I want you just to work with me and not for any other wedding planner. And it is going to all depend on the projections as to what the wedding planner is going to bring your way. It's going to be the negotiator of the wedding planner. So it's up to you to negotiate and really go in deep as to what those agreements are going to be. And I'm going to give you another example. Last week, we spoke to a company that is developing an application based on another application. So my question was, hey, do you guys have an exclusivity agreement to utilize this application? And they said, yes. And I said, for how long? It's like perpetual. Okay, so what if they sell the company? Well, they can actually, it's transferable, but it's a say on the contract. So you guys need to really, really look into the agreements of the joint venture because ultimately everything could be affected down the line. Have a good attorney review those agreements. So beware of the limited outside opportunities, because you might be limiting yourself instead of bigger exposure. You might be limiting yourself just to that particular venture. A lot of research and planning are necessary. Yes, you have to do your homework. It's called due diligence. The success of a joint venture highly depends on thorough research and analysis of the objectives. Additionally, the structure of the joint venture, who is responsible for what, agreements on how to dissolve the joint venture, and other additional factors are important to have clarity going forward. It's very, very, very important to have clarity, to have everything in writing, and make sure which party is responsible for what and so forth. Somebody said to me several years ago, bringing in partners or creating a joint venture or an alliance, it's more complicated than marriage. But everything boils down to communication, clarity. Communication and clarity. Whenever you are creating or thinking of getting into a joint venture, a partnership, an alliance, however you want to call it, and if you never have had partners, shareholders, or whatever it is, beware. It's extremely complicated, and you need to be extremely, extremely, extremely clear on everything. Hernan, you are 100% right. Contracts are key, and do not leave it to contracts that you download from Google. Those people out there that are that I've spoken to and like, holy shit, that is very expensive, because in Google, I can download my operating agreement for free. Good for you. You can download it for free. Yes, you can download it at 100,000 million websites. You can download a joint venture agreement. But when you are in the court of law and you pull out that agreement that you downloaded it from Google, let me tell you one thing. I'm no attorney, but most likely the judge is going to laugh in your face, and he's going to say, Mr. Espinosa, you screwed up, not by joining the venture, but by downloading this Google document, because it does not pertain to you. Are you an attorney? No, I'm not. So it does not pertain to you. Did you hire an attorney? No, I didn't, because I was so cheap that I can only pay $99 a year so I can subscribe and download agreements here and there. You're screwed. You're out of $1 million, Mr. Espinosa. Or you're screwed. You owe all those taxes from your partner. Plain and simple. Hire an attorney. Hire somebody that knows. Don't be cheap. Those people out there that are, oh, your LLC creation is super expensive. It's very expensive. Yeah, continue going with LegalZoom or Rocket Law and those ones, and utilize templates. Utilize templates. Get consulting from your neighbor, or get consulting from your business partner that it's at the same level as you. Plain and simple. Con 3, great imbalance. Jesus, I've seen this so many times, because different companies are working together. There is a great imbalance of expertise, assets, and investments. This can have a negative impact on the effectiveness of the joint venture. Obviously, you don't want to partner up or team up with somebody that it's lower than you or at your level. We're always looking for somebody that is better than us. We have to always be looking to open and expand our circle with people that are 100% better than us. We don't want to stay with the same people all the time, because we don't grow. You are the average of the 5 people that you mostly associate with. And if you associate with people that are just making $100 a year, guess what? You're going to be making an average of $100 a year. But if you start associating with people that are making $1 million a year, guess what? They're going to push you to make $1 million a year, right? But when it comes to a joint venture, you have to be very clear on that imbalance. Obviously, you're not going to be able to put in the $1 million that it's required on that agreement, but you're going to put in $1 million in knowledge, for instance, to give you an example. That will not create the imbalance. But when you start with the wrong foot, and in those agreements or in those discussions or the lack of discussions and clarity, it creates a great imbalance that in turn will create resentment, that in turn will create losing focus and saying, you know what, fuck it, I don't want to do this joint venture anymore. So be very careful. All those 3 points that we've discussed on the negative points, the bad points, or the points that you need to, like, cons, you need to be very aware that most of this, it's because we assume things, we don't have clarity, and we do not communicate. Those are the 3 major problems here. And I'm going to give you a bonus. Flexibility can be restrictive. There are times when flexibility is restricted in a joint venture. When that happens, participants have to focus on the joint venture, and their individual business suffers in the process. Again, everything comes to ironing out everything on the agreement, discussing everything, putting everything on the table, and saying, hey, I am going to focus on this joint venture 20% of my time. 80% of the time, you need to be focusing on your business. Unless once this joint venture reaches X amount of goals, or you achieve the goal of the joint venture, we're going to merge. Your company and my company will become one, and it's no longer a joint venture. Okay? Unless that happens, unless that's cleared, unless that's discussed, unless that's written, I will focus 100% of my time to the joint venture. If not, don't lose track of your business as well, because the joint venture, in this case, it's an additional service product to your own line, to your own company. So you're going to have to dedicate enough time to make that product or service successful. Our advice: get someone that has done joint ventures before to help you understand the complexities around doing one. It does create a great sense of benefit for both companies, but it also comes with its share of right effects as well. Make sure you keep the dialogue open and communicate with joint venture partners. It's very important to communicate. It's very important to discuss every single issue that you have questions. It's very important that if you are not happy with something that is going on through your joint venture, you clearly, immediately say it and express it to find a solution. Everything has a solution, everything, okay? Except death and taxes, and even that. Are you interested in getting advice from the Shark on Lunch with the Shark? We are looking for people to coach live on Lunch with the Shark. If you are a startup entrepreneur and looking for some powerful advice, email us at shark@invictus-advisors.com to set up a time to talk to one of our team members and be a special guest on our Lunch with the Shark special Friday edition, where we're going to have hot seats. So be sure to send us your email, and we'll have an interview with you and see if you're a right fit for our hot seats Friday afternoons. I don't know about you, but I have found LinkedIn to be a great place to connect with people, like-minded people, executive level people, people that I want to be or look up as mentors or coaches. We post different content than our other social media channels at our LinkedIn. To stay up to date in our content, Jesus, play the video. All you need to do is type Invictus Advisors in the search bar on the top of the page, click the button follow right under our logo, and there you have it. You'll have you'll get the information on your social media, on your notifications about our posts in LinkedIn. And today I'm going to quote the father of the strategical planning, Peter Drucker. He was a management consultant, educator, and somewhat a good author. And he said, business once grew by one of two ways: grassroots up or by acquisition. Today, business grows through alliances, all kinds of dangerous alliances, joint ventures, and customer partnerships with, by the way, very few people understand. So if you want to grow your business, ponder the idea of creating joint ventures, but really ponder the idea of creating joint ventures. This is a great way to generate leads and revenue for your company and really on your business growth. Listen it from Peter Drucker. I think he wasn't wrong. Well, it's been great talking to you guys today. Have a great afternoon. Enjoy the weather. We have a very nice weather here in San Diego. See you tomorrow. Ciao.
Thank you for listening to Lunch with the Shark. If you would like to set up a consultation with the Shark CFO, Vidal Espinosa, visit his website www.invictus-advisors.com, and don't forget to subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn.